Hello everyone, welcome back. I am the Pixel Doctor. This is 9 rooms, 9 persons. No, wait, 9 doors, 9 persons, 9 hours. 999. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And let us continue. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. They gathered in front of the doors, door number 8. Perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Jumpy, look. He just pointed at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately he knew what she had meant. Display in the front of the red read vacant. They sighed. Come on, guys, who was it? Thought we were supposed to yell if we found it. Well, they wondered why she was hesitating. They both looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? Oh, there's something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. What's the thing? We don't know. Don't know. When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot had been opened on the bottom, and now is covered with metal. Clearly, what I had been missing had been returned. What about the other two? They're the same. Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That's when he noticed. Where's Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room in a second, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell's he up to? Maybe he's lost? Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible. Sounds like she was shouting. Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got a really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone else who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's possible. Clover started to shake, and the knuckles of her hand had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes. I'm gonna go look for him. The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run. Hey! Hold on, Clover, wait! Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. He kept going before anyone else could react. She was gone. Damn it! What should we do now? Well, the red is working now. No, we're not leaving 2 people behind. We should go looking for them. Oh man, this ain't good. Oh yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some pieces of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more for looking for a couple of idiots. Remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left. Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off on a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went to their separate ways. Soon only 2 of them were left. Stuart, Junpei, and June, who had been a few steps behind the others. Alright, we should go too. Let's go. But where should we start? Let's see. Hallway with all the rooms. We should go check out the hallway with all the rooms. Okay, let's go, Jumpy. They ran around the hallway on their left. This is where last meet. Ahead of them, further down the hallway, they spotted Ace. Hey, Snake, where are you? Answer me if you're in there. What do you want to do? Ace. June Toad, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them. Hello there. Snake is... well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet either. I really wonder where he could have gone. Well, wherever he disappeared to, we must find him quickly. As quickly as we can, for Clover's sake. Right. His face looked kinda enraptured. By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings? Ah. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all. Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke. Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't. Now you mention it? Still, there's a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare. Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke. At any rate, we must find Snake as soon as possible. Clock's ticking, we really can't afford to waste any time. Very well, let's get back to searching, shall we? Leave this area to me. Alright, let's go, Jumpy. Found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil. There's so much to think about, but no, we would have to put it aside for now. They said finding Snake was their top priority. Junpei did his best to clear his mind. Alright, where should we go next? The casino. Take a look around the casino. Okay, let's go. Turned, headed toward B deck. Before they knew it, they were there. It was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him, unimpressed. Is it obvious? I'm looking for Snake. I'm not seeing it. Really? Maybe you need to look harder. Junpei didn't think that was a problem. Oh, by the way, I got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it? Let's listen to what you have to say. What is it? Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up? Team up? Yeah. What, you need me to explain it to you? Saying, why don't we go through a numbered door? If we wanted to, that's impossible. Why? Junpei's number bracelet 5, mine's 6, and yours is 8. Our digital route would be 1. There's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8. We need to add a person. Ooh. Isn't it easy? 7. It's right if they add 7. 8. 4 of them could go through door 8, but... Oh, hold on a second. What about the other 4? Why don't you add them up? That's simple enough. The road for those 4 would be 1. That's right. You know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room door. Of course I know that. No, are you saying that you'd leave them behind? Of course not. What kind of woman would you think I am? If we got the ship, we can come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind. Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort. Really? Why do you think that? You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left, even if we manage to escape. There's no way we can come back to the rest of them in less than 5 hours. You never know unless you try. No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. 4 of us couldn't open door 9. There's a secret way out. A secret door that carries a 9. Yeah, that's right. Digital route for 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to big 9. Unless we bring Ace 2, we'll be stuck. We'll scratch back through here. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she seem particularly surprised. Well, let's try to find another way out. Alright, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us. That's impossible. Are you being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of those numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception for the rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind. You're right, that is true. The moment he said it, Junpei felt the chill run down his spine. It was true. How Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was behind it. When they found the number 9, they would have to choose which 3 of them would die. Lotus's forehead furrowed. Do you think I could have a moment alone? There's some things I need to think about. Junpei and June turned around and began walking away from Lotus. Stuck in her head left them feeling ill. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. He told himself pessimism would get him nowhere. He had to force himself to smile and turn to June. Let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay? Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later. Junpei nodded. Alright, where should we go next? First class cabin. Let's go look at the first class cabin. It's really close. Turned around, took off down the hallway to their left. Outside the first class cabin, they found Clover. They're standing in front of the wall. They're staring at a meaningless point of the wall with her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? Talk to her. Are you alright? He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond. Look, I know you're really worried, but they have no words to say. That didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to. Alone. Voice was thin and barely audible. Alone. Alone. I said, leave me alone! Oh. Really, she was screaming. So annoying, just go away and leave me alone. Just looking at you guys is pissing me off. Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else. Stop bothering me. Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. Jun's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well. Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Fine, forget it. If I'm gonna leave, then I'll just... Alright, let's go, Jun. Yeah. Turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over to his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed. For Clover's sake, they had to find Snake and fast. He did his best to push away the misery and depression and forced a smile. So where do you think we should go next? Only one place left. Go back to the large hospital room. Alright, that's probably the best idea. Yeah, they ran down the stairs. On the way to the large hospital room, Junpei and Jun noticed Santa standing next to door 3. They paused. Talked to him. Junpei and Jun walked up to Santa. What are you doing? What? You can't tell? Check me out the red. Ah, is there something bothering you? What? It's not bothering you? Huh? This. The guts of the red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here? Yeah, that's true. I'm curious too, but... Who do you think did it? Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at Jun. She shook her head. I don't know. But what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us? I don't think it was either. I don't think it was. I don't know. I'm gonna say something that maybe there's someone else on the ship with us. You mean someone hiding here? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just an idea. Are you saying this mystery person fixed the Reds? Yeah. Why? That's I don't know. Then he shoved his hands into his pockets and cracked his knuckles. Seems unlikely. Why? I don't know. Just a feeling. Hard to believe Zero's been bringing a secret 10th player. I mean, the name of the game is the Nunnery game, for Christ's sakes. You know what nunnery means, right? It means 9. No, that's not what I meant. I mean more like someone who's been living here for a long time. Someone who, like, stayed here. Seriously? That's even more ridiculous. I think Zero would leave them alone. He preferred his brow. In other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red. And a grin. Bingo! We have a winner. If that's true, then the person who did doesn't want the rest of us to know they fixed the red. Yeah, but why? No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find something else. Something bad. Something bad? Don't know. Whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course. Could have something to do with Snake's disappearance. You think that they maybe did something to Snake? Not out of the question. Junpei stared at Santa. There's something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate the assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back. That depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away. Junpei and Jun looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where'd they go next? Yeah, we're... Oh, too far. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Where's 7? Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces. Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke. We can't keep looking for Snake. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving. Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There's no point in wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, 7 spoke. We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We gotta figure out who's going through which door. Yes. I have a proposal. She walked back and forth across the door, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped. Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice? Sacrifice? Perhaps that's a bit of harsh words, but yes. You all figured it out by now, haven't you? You can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people, respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people will be respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then 1 person will be left behind. And behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Not sure. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true. Wait a minute. 2 people got left behind if we split into 5 and 2? 1 person left behind if we split into 3. I got that part, but you can't go through the number of doors of any less than 3 people. Split into 3 or 4, why do we have 3 people left behind? Let's run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. And who's left over? That would be 3, 7, 8. Also the digital word for that. 9, exactly. Door 9 isn't here, right? And 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is, the 3 that are left can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we go back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1. Then spoke, his voice was strained. You're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind? Yes, we do. In our circumstances, it's logical and morally the best situation. If those 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves. No, that's too cruel. What's so cruel about it? To just sacrifice someone like that. Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1? That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone. I told you, that's impossible. Wake up. Whoa, calm down, you 2. And a step between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right? Exactly. That's how democracy works. For that reason, I think it's only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think? Oh, that's terrible. I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa? Me? Well, I agree, I guess. Alright, that's 1 vote for counting mine, and that's 2. 7. Can't say I agree with you, but don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die. Glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover? Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. The whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid her hand on her shoulder. Bella has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to be gone through one of them somehow? Clover slowly lifted her face. Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right? Clover nodded once. Cool. The motivation carried. The motion carries. Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei. Now, let's start a vote, too. That won't be necessary. Ace had spoken to Lotus, had barely spoken for Lotus' entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. Junpei's eyes turned to him. He didn't seem to notice or even care. I will say, that should solve our problem, yes? Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything. June's voice shook as she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her. June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay. I never said I would sacrifice myself. Huh? I trust you, each and every one of you, believe you'll come back for me. Whoa, there's optimistic and there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them, we won't be able to return, correct? Yeah. True, but that would not be the case once you escape from the ship. What? Please, I beg you, once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally within the time limit Zero has given us. No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we can get back in time. Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer. We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we going to find someone to come and rescue you? Perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind. Ace's voice was dignified, and without a hint of cruelty or malice, Junpei had no rebuttal. See? There's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go quickly. Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his head. Only Clover stared at Ace, with the expression Junpei was unclear to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others. Good. Let's accept this kind offer then. She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own. Good, I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It's my age, but I don't get tired so easily these days. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. Somewhere deep on the ship, Junpei suddenly heard screeching of metal on metal. It were almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In sudden silence, only one sound. The only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first. Now what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry up? As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once. You're right, we should get going. That's all we can do now. 7. Seriously, honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk. You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you, let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out of this. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something. Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way. His word sounded hollow and fake. Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own. Spun around and ran towards Ace. He slumped down next to the beds when June grabbed his arm and pulled. Come on, Ace, stand up. Can't give up yet. Just sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here. Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over on the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out of cold. Ace! June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did best to lift him up. What happened, Ace? Say something. He shook him frantically, his eye fluttered open. I'm alright. His voice was weak and slightly slurred. How are you fine? This... He held his left arm and slowly opened his hand. In a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. Only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the side. Label taped to the side of the container. It read, Saporeal Beta. Saporeal Beta. We had no idea what it meant. Or what kind of medicine it might be. Did you use this? Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine. Anesthetic. I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms. Thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself. Why did you do this? Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I'm very tired. Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with an anesthetic forestalled Junpei and June's attempt to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there's nothing they could do. He injected himself so they were forced to leave him behind. Ace. Is Is it something you want to say? I'd just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down? No. Don't, Ace, don't fall asleep. Ah, you feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream. Ace's eyelids drew further and further, almost as though he were dying. Ace! Ace! He shook his shoulders again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told him that he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see that he was in fact still breathing. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him onto the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity. Well, we really don't have a choice now. Can't let a sacrifice to go to waste, right? He wasn't feeling any remorse, Junpei was sure of that. Still, he had no grounds upon which to oppose her. Felt wrong, but he had to agree. Suddenly, Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we? Huh? What do you mean? Haven't decided who's going in what door. Ah, yes, that's true. Well, enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want? I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number. Got it. You're 8. Next 7. Which do you want? I'll take 7. Can't get along with that old lady. What? What did you just say? Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hands in a cookie jar. Ugh. Gotta get it next time. He shot him a glare that would have melted steel and then stalked off. Alright, who's going next? Santa moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped in Junpei. Which door do you want? Last? His mind was already made up. I'll go with door 8. I want to get to know Lotus a little better. What's her deal? She's sketchy. I think we gotta go with door 8. Okay, and it is. Yeah. Alright, that means June's gotta go through door 7. What? Why? What? Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain. 6 of us are gonna keep without leaving anyone behind. There's only 3 ways we can do this. Plan A, go through door 7 with 3, 5, 8. They go through 8 with 4, 6, 7. Plan B, go through 7 with 4, 5, 7. Go through 8 with 3, 6, 8. What's June's number again? 6? Plan C, go through door 3 with 6, 7, 3, 6, 7. Door 8 with 4, 8, 5, 8. And that's it. These are our only options. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same door. Get it now? As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up at the corner of her eyes. Oh no. Saying we aren't going to see each other for a long time? Just as June did, he wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face, but he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June, he was scared to lose her, but he steeled his resolve and did his best to smile. Come on, you're making it sound like we're never going to see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a little while. It's just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? Gotta split up. We got split up then too, but we all met back up. What, 7 or 8 or just like that? You mean they're connected somewhere? Yeah, probably. Probably? Didn't sound very helpful. It was 7 that interjected. I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere. Why? What makes you think so? If they don't connect, the other team can go through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. So he's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun for as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the door 9. June said nothing. Tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, but with what reassurance he could manage, laid his eyes gently on her shoulder. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna go see each other again. I promise. She bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod. Yes, promise. Voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered at the moment. You guys done, right? He stretched and continued. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figured I'll take 7, and Clover could oh no. Any problems with that, Clover? Clover looked away. It was silent for a moment. Whatever. It was More of a dismissal than agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care. Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move. I still don't trust Clover. At Santa's command, the group split and headed for the respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. For a moment, they stood in front of the door. Then Lotus laid her hand against her chest and toward Junpei and Clover. Are you ready? Yeah. Yes. Then shall we go? The door had opened. See you next time.